Hello and welcome to this very special episode of The Big Picture.
That's pish. Pish roll. Sorry.
You may be wondering, who was that applauding? Well, it's our live studio audience, because we're coming at you live from Lewis's Twitch account, which is sweet_Lou2, I believe. So you're probably
That's
thinking,
correct.
Thanks, Liz. You're probably thinking, why are you live? Who would want to watch a podcast live? Dumb fuck. Oh god, this isn't a podcast! We're playing Monopoly! Oh, yeah. So, but why? Why are we doing this? Well, Lewis is thinking about streaming more, so it's a great way to promote that. But more realistically, we were going to do an episode of how to improve the Justice League, but after weeks of me complaining about it, the boys decided that we would play a game instead. And it's not just any game, it's a game I fucking despise. I absolutely hate. I've ranted about capitalism enough times throughout the episodes for people to know that I'm not a fan. So here we are, The Big Picture plays Monopoly. So I'm joined, you can see on the screen if you're watching, I'm joined today. We'll start off with a man who's hosting the Vine Street of the podcast, Lewis. Lewis, thanks for hosting us.
Yeah, no problem. I can't wait to profit off everybody else's generosity. Just like a true capitalist.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Okay, we've actually already started, so I need to get through these quick enough, so I'm not even going to bother asking you how you are. Next, go straight to cancelled. Adam Bakevich. Adam, how are you?
I appreciate that. Hello, how are we doing? How's everyone? Get some poggers in chat, please.
Right, great. Nice and enthusiastic, that's what I like. Next, we're joined by a man who can only play as one item piece. It's because he's bald. He's the hat. It's Stewart.
But I'm the top hat tonight, so a little bit of much needed class to this stream. Thank you, Rhys.
Only because they didn't have a fishing cap.
Snake eyes off the bat. Go. Okay, finally, we're joined by a man who's never once paid his income tax. Jack Graham.
For legal purposes, I do, but it's lovely to be here. I am slowly getting a growing fear that I've not clicked the fast Monopoly, even though I'm sure I have. Maybe it takes a run once round the table for it to work or something. I don't know, but we'll find out.
I fucking hate this shit game. I've got fucking electric company off the fucking bat. Oh my. Right. Anyway, right, Jack, you mentioned it there. Fast Monopoly, and I saved you to last because you've promised me that this isn't going to take 2 hours, and I fucking hate Monopoly. I don't want to sit here for 2 hours playing this shit game. So, explain to me, Fast Monopoly, how does it work?
So, it's just like normal Monopoly, but there's meant to be a third die which hasn't appeared, which gives me the fear that it's either we go round once and it appears, or I've picked the wrong option. But it allows like property to be bought like our.
Well, it's just turn me. Go on, alright? Bad
To
enough.
jail straight away.
Sorry, I was laughing so hard at that brilliant joke.
It makes you go to anywhere you want to go to on the board. It's just meant to speed up the process. You're not just dilly-dallying the whole time, but we'll find out as soon as someone passes go.
Well, we will find out. Very excited. Well, the thing about Monopoly is that I've mentioned several times already, I hate it, right? So, I have no...
Yeah, Stefan shares you in that. He's
Thanks,
just commented
Stefan.
there. I also hate Monopoly.
It's a shit game. I don't understand why we're playing it. But so don't be surprised when I'm out after like 10-15 minutes, because I get bored quite quickly and I do stupid deals that don't make any sense and I splash my money out, but you know, who cares? That's how I live in real life as well.
That's how you bought a house in real life.
I mean, I'm the only one with property. I bought a house at 24 and I definitely couldn't afford it, so you know.
He's got a shed as well. Like
I've got a
Mr.
shed.
Moneybags over here.
Got a garden. I've got a car. You know, I'm property rich. Oh, here, Borky. I've got the
Yes, mate.
electric company if you want to do a deal, by the way.
No. We don't negotiate with terrorists.
Whoa!
Best behaviour, boys. Come on. The T's and C's.
For the stream and for Amazon and Twitch, there's no terrorists in this podcast.
Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh yes, baby. And the rich get richer.
Shit game. Anyway, right. So I had some difficulties thinking of like script topics because we're not talking about if we're talking about like James Bond, we can talk about like different James Bond movies, what you like about. I'm not going to sit here for an hour and a half and talk about what we like about Monopoly and what we don't like about. I could talk about what I don't like about Monopoly, but I'm not going to. So we'll come to the first question, which came from Danny Lee. So thanks for sending that in. What's the worst reboot of a movie? Worst reboot? I'll go. Lewis, you answer first.
I think like the easiest low bait answer is Ghostbusters.
That's
Is it
because you
an
hate
answer?
women.
Four female Ghostbusters? The feminists are taking over. Banana virgin.
The terrifying thing's got fuck all to do with it. It's not an enjoyable film, and it just doesn't capture that amazing brilliance that was the first one. So fuck them all.
Interesting, very interesting. Adam, you were quick to criticise Lewis's comments, so what's your?
I don't know, I wasn't critical at all. I was agreeing, I don't know if that was obvious. It's a tough one for me. I'd probably go with Total Recall. Anyone ever seen that? The original is like a classic. Oh, do you know what? Tell I, I'm giving up. I'm not going with that one. The Mummy. It takes some of the funnest films with Brendan Fraser in them, fantastic, and then they take it and they make it like serious and terrible. And Tom Cruise is Tom Cruise, right? Whatever. You take it, you leave it. It's so bad. It's the worst. But it's one of the worst films I've ever seen. I would go as far as to say, which is bold. You know, I don't throw that accolade around often.
Oh my
I
gosh.
think
I just want to interject here. Stefan has a great question. Would you rather fight 100 ant-sized Lewises or one Lewis-sized ant?
Oh, fuck. I'm going to die either way. So, 100 ant-sized Lewises or one Lewis-sized ant.
do we all fight at
That-
the same
wait.
time?
Uh,
So like the four of us take on one ant-sized Lewis.
oh, well, we're not
Or
doing it as a
Lewis-sized
four. We're
ant.
doing it as a one.
Right.
Oh, I'd go 100 ant-sized. The one that's the
Are
one
we
that's
forgetting how small
You're right
ants
there.
are? Ants are really tiny.
so
I really don't
Jack,
understand
Yeah,
why
but they
it's
can
so
also lift like
difficult.
100 times their body weight.
Yeah,
Pass.
but
Just
Lewis could
pass.
probably
Yeah,
lift
but-
100 times his body weight as well, so it
Yeah, but-
doesn't really...
not that
balance
I'm
out.
saying I would, but I could stand in an ant.
Ah, but
Yeah,
the ant
Peter's
would
not gonna
probably
like
lift.
this.
Oh,
Snake
Right,
eyes.
To go back to the question, sorry, just because I seen
Oh.
Danny Lee saying in chat there,
reboot.
he reminded me that it was meant to start the Dark Universe, which had to have Russell Crowe playing Jekyll and Hyde, where he plays him
Jekyll
in
and
that,
Hyde.
and it had all these different things lined up. Drop.
There's
You
Johnny
move
Depp,
on
not the
to-
Invisible Man, and now he is the
Yeah, move
Invisible
on to
Man
the
'cause he's
next
been
one, and I'll
cancelled.
get the list up
oh.
while you're on the next person's answered.
Right, the worst reboot of all time is Men in Black International, because nobody can be Will Smith, not even Chris
It's not even a
Hemsworth.
reboot!
Yeah, it's,
So yeah, it's the third one. It's a sequel.
Yeah, it's just
Fourth.
a sequel, it's the fourth one. And
no, it's not a
and
fourth.
it's
It's not.
better than Men in Black 2
No.
and Men in Black 3
No.
combined.
No, it's not.
No.
Aye, it is!
Talking about.
I'm not having that as an answer.
Jack's so mad he doesn't even
Should
know
I-
it's his
should I
turn. He's
just
like,
say,
I just want to scream about Will Smith.
If Diane Lee's still watching, should I just say Jurassic World? I know he's a big fan of all that shite.
I don't think Jurassic World's that bad. Jurassic
Roll.
World Fallen
Oh,
Kingdom, though,
sorry.
is absolutely horrendous. That is one of the worst
Aye.
films I've ever seen in a long time. Like, again, it's such a meme. Like at this point, like the whole. I'm going to spoil this movie because it's not worth watching at all. Like, it really isn't. But the whole point is they're engineering a dinosaur that will like kill people on command, and how they do this. And again, it's such a meme. But I was literally in the cinema, and what they've got is a gun that has a laser target on it, and then rather than fire bullets at the person you want to kill, it fires a sound, like a roar, a dinosaur roar, that this genetically engineered dinosaur understands that you have to kill the person I'm aiming at, not me that's holding the gun making this noise. It's so I don't understand. Imagine like, they put this up to auction, and there's like all these Russian gangsters that are bidding on this terrible idea. It's like, you know, it's the world's worst dragon's den. And like, can you imagine this Russian gangster going back and like, Dimitri, look at what I bought. I bought the dinosaur that kills all our enemies. And like, oh, he's going to jail.
I might declare bankruptcy. I'm not even kidding. I can see right stick. I might do it. Fucking shit. Why are we playing Monopoly? We gotta play GTA. Oh, outraged. Anyway, right, Stuart, what a great story. I was too busy worrying about going to jail to appreciate your great words, but I'll hit you with some truth, guys. The worst reboot of all time surely has to be Mulan. I mean, the controversy that came in with that film, the 2020 version. Oh, I don't know if anyone actually watched it.
I've not seen Milan. Either Milan.
No, it's pretty bad. We have discussed it already in this podcast. Fantastic.
I will tell you. I will tell you the worst reboot is. The worst reboot is Robin Hood. Oh shit! I owe who 100.
Oh, you're the bank, mate.
See, look, Robin Hood. All right,
the IRS.
I mentioned Robin Hood, and I immediately lose. So, you know, you're talking about income tax, like just a few minutes ago. I'm getting slammed by emergency tax, by the way. Alright, what is that about?
A lot of people agree Mulan is trash.
That is terrible.
I don't think I've seen the reboot of Mulan.
Yeah,
I've not heard a single good thing.
You had to pay for it on off. Oh, he finally pays his income tax.
Worst reboot of all time is Pacific Show.
You had to pay for Mulan, I think, on Disney Plus when it came out.
Well, that'd be why I watched it then.
But there was a lot of controversy with like human rights and stuff like that when it did come out.
All of that.
Oh,
Jack,
the Browns,
I'll
the worst profit in the world.
Electric company
Terminator Salvation. That's actually a pretty good show, Danny.
Terminator Salvation is bad. But no, you
I'll
compare
buy my
it to
time.
Genesis.
I'll buy my time, Rhys.
It's worth like triple the price, mate.
Aye, but once I
Every
get another
Terminator's a
round.
reboot because they're all terrible after two.
Nah. Sam Worthington just plays the same role he does in every film. He might as well be the guy. You can tell me it's Avatar. Yeah, I know. He just plays the same guy in a wheelchair. Half robot, half man. I'm sorry, is that not
Do you
the
know
same
who
role?
would have done a better job than Sam Worthington? Shia LaBeouf.
Not this again.
Shia LaBeouf.
I was thinking.
That's an Avatar episode. Hey, go check it out on Spotify.
We also had some comments in chat. Stefan asked, would you say Rat Race is a bad film but good fun?
Absolutely.
I purposely ignored that.
I would say Rat Race, Stefan, alright, newcomer in the audience. Rat Race is a fantastic film and an amazing time, alright?
Can somebody clip before what Stuart says? I think when Adam asked Stefan's question, the first thing Stuart said was absolutely. So we clip that and have Stuart agreeing with Stefan saying that it's a bad movie, but you can enjoy
It's not a bad movie, it's an
But that's what you asked
movie.
and you said absolutely.
No, he was mistaken. I don't want to call our audience an idiot, but he's fucking wrong.
Clip it, Stefan. Clip it.
Somebody clip that.
We can just retroactively click.
It's like I've had this conversation before. Looney Tunes back in action. It is a terrible movie. But it's one of the most enjoyable.
God, no,
No, here we go.
It's a terrible movie, but it's one of the most enjoyable movies you can ever watch.
Looney Tunes Back in Action is the single and only good Looney Tunes live action film. Space Jam is dog shit. Lewis, you're excused because Space Jam is dog shit. Alright, Space Jam: A New Legacy. Alright, I haven't seen it, but it's shit. Alright, now Looney Tunes Back in Action
Oh,
is
you're lucky I
amazing.
can't kick you from this party. I did try.
You know what?
I get
to,
kicked from the game.
to the audience, people will try and silence you. All right, you know. But if you like Looney Tunes back in action, you're on the right side of history, my friend. All right.
Yeah, but you
And
could like both.
You are alone in this. Not a single person in chat agrees with you.
About
Spe-
what?
nah,
But Looney Tunes
Lewis,
back in action.
Space Jam is
I think it was
absolute
Space
dog
Jam.
No
shit.
one's
I remember.
Space Jam. I think they moved. Sorry, Looney Tunes. I think they moved on from that.
No, bring it back. Bring it back. Looney Tunes is when you watch it and you see it, you kind of laugh at how bad it is, but you still enjoy it.
Oh,
It's the
fuck
same as
off.
it's the same as Rat Race. You know it's kind of bad, you still laugh and enjoy it because it's kind of bad.
No, that,
I'm not
you're right
taking
about
away the
Space
fun of
Jam.
the movie.
Space Jam's bad, but see Looney Tunes back in action is actually funny. It's hilarious. It's got Steve Martin in it, and he's doing a bang up job.
The fuck is
What the
that?
fuck's a
Hey.
bus?
And you could be going to jail, son.
Oh, is that? Surely
Oh,
that. What's a bus got to do with jail?
Daniel
Oh,
Lee
you
is
get-
giving
you
us,
get options
to pick.
it's given us an excellent segue. Rhys, baby, you could.
What's a bus got
Use
to do
this.
with getting property?
We got any
You get to pick how many spots you go, but I can't see
any
it 'cause I've got the
content
bloody
coming out
chat
about
bar
the
on my Xbox.
Spider-Man trailer? Any thoughts on that for the pod?
Well, that is a great segue. I don't know how you got there. I can't really say it's a great segue
Yeah,
because I'm not quite sure how you got there. But one of the questions I've got written down: Spider-Man Far From Home. Is that right? Far From
No Way Home.
Say-
No Way Home.
Ah,
No way
No
home.
Way Home. Ah, see, there we go.
Convinced
Jack
you
even
did that
credited me
deliberately.
earlier and I still didn't get it right. Spider-Man No Way Home trailer just dropped. What's your thoughts?
I'm excited. I'm very much excited. Also, I can move 1 square, 5 squares, or 6 squares. Did
Move,
somebody buy that
six
train
work.
station? I'll move 6.
Keep
Aye, 'cause I
parking.
know it's going to happen.
Yeah,
Aye, I'm excited. I think that I was getting a bit annoyed at folk being like, "Is the trailer going to come out? Is it ever going to be a trailer?" I hated the speculation with it because I felt that kind of not that it ruined some parts of WandaVision, but it built up so much hype that folk felt a bit disappointed in the finale. I felt it was going to get that way with this trailer. But I'm glad it's came out, and I'm glad it's kind of not. It's teased quite a bit of what's going to happen, but it's not kind of gone like fully in as to what to expect yet.
Yeah.
I've not
Yeah.
actually watched it yet for reasons I will explain. But what's your thoughts, Adam?
I really enjoyed it. It's definitely like I think Marvel. We know now they can do a great trailer and get you like just the right amount of hype for something. Like you get you want, they get you wanting more. You know, and like I do, and I definitely want to see what's in store. And I would just yes, I'll throw it out to the guys in terms of who's coming back. Who we're most looking forward to. Like, I love Dr. Octopus, and he's like amazing Spider-Man 2, but I recently watched Spider-Man 1 again, and man, Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin. I want to see it.
Yeah,
Finish
it's Willem
it!
that.
Finish
It's
it!
special that.
Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is what I'm most excited for.
I wish you luck.
Danny's saying Sinister Six, but I don't think they're doing the Sinister Six, are they?
No, they've hinted at it in the trailer, because it's like you can see, obviously you see the Green Goblin's pumpkin, you see Dr. Octopus, you see kind of Sandman.
You see Electro, you see Lightning.
Somebody speculated that one of the creatures
Yeah.
you see is actually Venom.
I
Are
suppose
you
it
gonna
lizard.
know what hit him? Is that what you're saying?
Venom.
Yeah, get Tom Hardy in.
Yeah.
The ultimate villain. But Tom Hardy's a villain for himself.
That's a red one.
I'm gonna go against it. I am actually the trailer.
I think you get
wasn't-
to go anywhere in the boardwalk. It was the next available property when you get that.
Oh, I'll
O.J.
take that.
Simpson
Oh,
play
agreed.
the Riddler and you Batman. Get the fuck.
The trailer, it was all right. You know what? I think I would have expected a bit more, but I'm actually quite worried about the new, No Way Home because I feel that I was actually I was really excited to see like where the current Spider-Man trilogies kind of ended up, and I was hoping that they would do the Sinister Six with the villains that they've created because I really love the Vulture, played by Michael Keaton. I really love
Holy shit, I did it.
Mysterio by,
Yeah, that's right.
by Jake Gyllenhaal,
Yeah,
amazing
Mysterio's
villain.
good.
And they've also got I can't remember his name, but it's
Oh, wow.
Nacho
I've
from
never
Better
heard
Call
of it.
Saul. I can't like he's playing Scorpion. So I feel that, and you had the Shocker as well in there. I was excited for like this new brand of villains, and again, like I loved the original Spider-Man trilogy. I haven't watched them in years, but I'll watch them before No Way Home to see how they've probably not aged well, but I'll watch them anyway.
No, they're class. Carry on.
I'm just. It's the same as Star Wars, and I hate it because, you know, it's not a natural story progression. I think. I mean, sure, like going to Doctor Strange because the identity's out there in the world, I kind of get. But again, a lot of the criticisms of the new Spider-Man is he doesn't really solve things himself, or he does, but there's always like another influence. It's mainly been Tony Stark in the films, and I would like a Spider-Man where he has a problem that only he can solve by himself. So, and I get that this is probably a long game, like they're going to build up that kind of Spider-Man, but that won't be until the next trilogy. But I would rather they create brand new characters that we've not seen before. I mean, Spider-Man, like he's got one of the best rogues gallery in comics. I don't want to see the same villains come back, and the literal same villains of like Willem Dafoe as Green Goblin and Alfred Molina as Doc Ock. As much as I loved those characters, I don't want to see them over and over again. I want to see something new.
It's fair. I mean, it's good.
I actually.
Oh, you go, Lewis.
Sorry. I do kind of share a bit of Stuart's fears because this. It doesn't. This almost feels like a legitimate sequel, as in like the start of Spider-Man almost feels like we're going to be doing something new, and because the Avengers whole sequence was such a ridiculous ride, it's going to be difficult to follow it, and I feel like Spider-Man's going to be the first one to try it, and it feels like it's fumbling out of the gate just because that trailer wasn't quite as strong for me as I would have liked it to have been, and it's unfortunate because Spider-Man is my favourite, and I know a lot of people here in chat have said that Spider-Man's their favourite comic, stuff like that, but he kind of seems... I think he's going to be the Iron Man for the next generation, but I just don't... I don't feel like they're going to be able to capture that same level of perfection and desire and draw that they did with Iron Man.
Interesting thoughts. I felt like Far From Home, that was a sequel.
Yeah.
Was that not all about how he wasn't going to be the next Iron Man?
Yeah, it was about him finding his own way.
I mean, sorry, I should probably clarify. I don't mean sequel to the movie. That's obviously not at the depth of point I was trying to make. I mean as in, like, let's take the entirety of the Avengers up until Thanos as being one collective. This is the sequel to the start of the next collective.
Interesting.
Why'd you auction this shit?
I just thought, fuck it.
Just buy the property, you know what I mean?
I know.
Oh, by the way, Stefan has a question for everybody who wants to know whether or not we're going to be getting Battlefield, Vanguard, both. Are we excited or apprehensive?
If I'm going to pick between Battlefield or Vanguard, I think I'm probably going to go Battlefield. I've not enjoyed Call of Duty like recently, like at all, in a very long time. I'm just not. Arguably, is it because I'm poor, bad at it? Yeah, probably.
You're poor.
I'm pretty poor.
Sleep in the street.
Yeah. But no, it's I'm quite excited to get Battlefield. I think Call of Duty I'm not arsed about.
I mean, it's no secret I've probably played COD more this last little while, but that's also because I don't think Battlefield's made a good game recently. I'm more excited for Battlefield. I'll probably play COD in the Warzone sense. I don't know if I'll buy it, just because it seems a bit... I hated Black Ops, Cold War. It just did not look fun. And you know, Vanguard looks like it's going to be better. It looks going to be more to what Modern Warfare does with the movement style. Some of the changes they're adding could be interesting for Warzone, but for me, COD is kind of evolving to Warzone now, where the multiplayer just isn't quite the same. Although I will kick anybody's ass in a game of S&D, just saying.
Jack,
Thanks,
I'll
Stefan,
buy that
would take up
street
that
off you for
challenge.
1,000.
Not a chance.
1,500.
Not a chance.
1,539.
Not a chance.
World War II
I can't
boring
offer
now.
anymore.
Old
mate,
news.
stop.
World War II was old news a little while ago.
I'm about to start making money moves proper.
I'm very much looking forward to Battlefield. Huge Battlefield fan.
Well, that's off my car.
And I've gone back and played Battlefield 4 with Danny actually, and I tell you what, we've had a great blast on it. Getting back into it, and it just makes me really excited because the trailers look good. It looks like it's getting back to. I'm right. I agree with you, Lewis. I really didn't enjoy Battlefield 1 or Battlefield 5 at all. Really, like they were fun for a bit, but they just got bored for me quickly. and there just sometimes had some like games on it that just weren't enjoyable. So I think that I'm really looking forward to this. And I'll get to pick up Vanguard, but to be honest, I don't know a lot about it. I've watched one video on it, and it's some guy tearing up in a 2v2 mode. It just looked like World at War, but better graphics.
Well, I have watched like the alpha they had for it, and it looked good, and like it looks more in line with what Modern Warfare was, like I said, in terms of movement and stuff like that. But I think the hype around Battlefield is going to supersede what COD can bring. And I mean, you look at the trailer, you look at what Battlefield are trying to bring. It's just going to be a much more fun experience.
Move 7.
I know Warzone will probably be the main focus.
I think
for a
move
lot of them,
5,
but
sure. Should move 5.
I have no idea what this is doing. Oh, right,
7.
okay.
Move 2 or 7.
Move 5.
7.
2
Dude,
you
you're
pay me,
fucked either way,
5 you
mate.
pay Jack,
Sure,
7 you pay.
if you move 7,
yeah.
I'll pay it back. Right, here we go. I'll pay it back.
That's
I
bollocks,
could
by
get
the way.
that. Trade with me.
If there's demand,
Right, I'll do 15 and you do 1. I know.
Yeah, because you have to offer something. Oh, what's
Yeah.
this? An actual trade.
Well, just actually gonna make money moves.
Oh, he's
Stuart's just silently
a big
businessman.
How do you think the Lord of the Rings TV series will do? Big flop or big success?
I think, as a huge Lord of the Rings fan, I think it will be a success if they explore some of the extra content. Jack and I actually had a good conversation while we were working, basically on like the kind of extra, like this, basically the extra reading, the extra content to do with Lord of the Rings, because they don't know. I think you have to look for it. And unless you've like read a lot of the books and you've read any extra material, you probably won't know a lot about it. But it's actually, a lot of stuff's really interesting, especially for Lord of the Rings fans. So I think if they explore that, I think they've got a real success. There's so many people who love Lord of the Rings; they love those films. I think if they use good practical effects and don't go for over-the-top CGI like Hobbit, and then they like don't drag it out for 3 films like Hobbit, then I think it would be a really big success.
I think there's a big gap in that sort of market right now because of things like Game of Thrones being finished and not doing that well. Vikings kind of coming to the end, like that sort of, not sword and sandal because it's not really sword and sandals, but that sort of kind of fantasy genre realm is just begging for somebody to come in and take advantage of it. And Lord of the Rings has got the name brand to do it. I have not seen about casting and who else is there, but I think it's actually going to do really well, especially as on Amazon Prime, which will just make it easy.
I can't wait for it to come out, man. I think it's going to be great. I think that it's arguably it could be one of the high stream TV series, like original TV series, I guess. I think it definitely has potential just because of the IP of what it is.
I think it's going to struggle a little bit because it's on Amazon though.
Dan Lee says
I
he's
remember-
playing Gollum. Does that Gollum? Sorry, does that change your thoughts on the film?
I was terrified of Gollum as a child, so no, that makes me more less.
Oh,
like-
here, what about the Gollum game that's going to come out?
I've seen the
Gollum
trailer
game?
for it. It didn't show anything yet. It's like a stealth game, so I'm guessing it's going to be similar in mechanics to the Shadow of Mordor games, but obviously like an even heavier leaning on stealth play.
Gollum
But I
didn't really
think-
seem that stealthy in the game. He was always like shouting and screaming it, and even like
Yeah, but
himself.
in the book, in the Hobbit, they briefly have like a section where he talks about how he sometimes kills goblins by going invisible and strangling them when they're by themselves. So he's a stone cold killer if he can find a goblin in the dark with his fucking ring on to be invisible.
I'm all for like a Hitman 47 type game, but it's like
That's
even
nice.
complete with earpiece like of like Diana in his ear telling him like what his target is. But instead it's that other Gollum that Andy Serkis was doing. So it's like Gollum like telling Gollum who to assassinate. He's even got like fibre wire and everything, and he's got the silver balls, of course.
Yeah.
Oh, excellent.
Fuck.
450 is that one.
Oh,
shit!
baby.
This is it. I hate playing not play with Jack. He just sacks it. It's the only game he's good at.
Oh, well,
this is pure chance.
I'm sorry that I got both Browns and put on my Adam. Continue.
Jack, I'm offering you a one-time offer to partner up. I'll give you everything I've got, and you just keep me in the loop with your financial decisions.
Enjoying
I
the
don't
best.
think Handler would win in any of those
I'm
situations.
confused.
And he's not really a great quick scoper.
He's insulting you, Rhys. He's spitting
Oh,
on your
yeah,
hand at that
baby.
deal.
I don't
say that-
understand what's confusing about the offer.
I think if you've seen Prime Donya, you have to say Donya in that quickscope battle. You know,
I
Footers
think
might
if
have.
we were getting back on track, Rhys, you recently started the MCU, watching the films in order they're released, didn't you?
Yes, I did indeed, Jack. I started watching it on the 23rd of July. I started watching all the MCU films, and I finished last night. So I've now seen them all. I mean, what a fucking feat it was. It took a lot of sack. I won't lie. I did not enjoy the amount of effort I put in to try and watch it. Was trying to get it done quite quickly so that we could like talk about it. And what a perfect time. When I found out we were doing this, I was like, oh, perfect time. So here's my thoughts. Stewart inspired me. He has a list on his phone of like
Because
all
I'm just that cool.
because he's the cool cat of like all his favorite MCU movies, but like he's ranked them in order. So here's what I've got, and I implore you guys to get your opinions across as well. So in top spot, I've got
Good man.
Infinity War. Which
So
I
Good
against
think
choice.
is
Jack.
That
Not
is
a
the correct
controversial
choice.
decision. In bottom spot, I've got Thor: The Dark World because I thought
Yep,
that was
sounds about right.
arguably the worst movie
Yeah.
I've ever seen in the entire
Yeah.
history of my life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty.
So I've gone for those two. That's my best, my worst. I've also my most underrated film, the film that I thought was really good that I hadn't really heard any positives about was Captain Marvel. I thought that was. I went into that film and I'd only heard bad things about it, and when I came out of it, I was like, that was really good. I really enjoyed it. So, guys, let me hear
That's
your
surprising.
thoughts. Let me hear your thoughts. What's your favourite? Well, Jack, you posed it to me first by bringing it back on track. So, what's your favourite? What's your least favourite? What's your most underrated?
Well, I have the same favourite and least favourite of Infinity War and Thor: The Dark
Great
World.
choice.
Thor: The Dark
Wise
World,
man.
I regret ever watching that movie. Infinity War, I think, is a masterpiece. I would I'm not a big fan of Captain Marvel. I didn't enjoy it at all. It's underrated. If I'm looking at something that's maybe just got outside of my top 10, because I've included the TV series in my list as well. I think maybe just outside the top 10, I'd probably go Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
Yeah, Danny agrees with you there. Lucy does not agree with your take there, Rhys. Rhys once
Listen,
again
I
picking
don't
bad
agree on
films.
anything, so that is not surprising. I actually did enjoy Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think in comparison to the first one especially, I thought the first one was brilliant, and I thought the second one was good. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was... I was like, oh. When it ended, I was like, alright, okay.
I think the problem with like the Guardians films is like, see the first one. The first one's such a good comedy. Like it is so good at being a comedy, and you set up your Guardians films of like, right, this is your comedy, like superhero film, and then the second one, I would say like it's got better emotional beats.
Yeah,
Of
definitely.
the like it's really like see the emotion of the character stuff is really good, but man, the humor is just really the humor just I don't know like if he used all of his like humor on the first one, because the humor in the second one is just not funny at all. Like, and not only that, it's the characters are laughing more at the jokes than they should be. Like it was all this forced laughter, and I was like, yeah, it's not a great comedy, and I think that's what docks it like in comparison to the first one.
I thought it was... I think the ending is amazing in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I think the ending is brilliant. It's like such a great ending. But everything before it was just slow, awkward. Like the humour was awkward. I wasn't really buying into a lot of it, and then with the ending, like you really buy into the ending. It's really emotional. It's brilliant, but everything in between then, I was just like, oh, whatever.
Kurt
You know?
Russell's amazing at it though. Like he's definitely got the better villain in the second one, but
Yeah, Kurt Russell's just great in general. Like, I'm just a huge Kurt Russell fan anyway, so I think that was what was most. I thought there was too much going on. There was like loads of different plots at the same time, and I just kind of was like, oh, you stick to 1, 2, max 3. But I think at one point there was like 5 plots going on. And I was like, oh, just tone it down. But
I think Drax suffers a lot in the second film as well. Like, I think like Drax is like, the first film strikes a really good balance of Drax being like comedic relief, but also he's got that real heart. Like, see that bit where he talks about his family, his daughter and his wife, and yeah, you get a scene of it where Mantis, like, she can feel people's emotions, and she touches his shoulder and immediately starts crying. Like, that's great, but
yeah,
the problem is Drax has now just become like he's an idiot. Like, but he's not even like in the first film. He's like culturally, he is not that aware, and he's not that smart, and like he is. That's kind of his character, is like he doesn't get like sarcasm, he doesn't get like exaggeration and everything like that. But then in the second one, he's just a fucking idiot. And
I think that's more to do with the marketing of the film and trying to sell the film is like for why they had to do that. Like they made him the comic relief character, which maybe helped the success of the film in the way.
Yeah,
I get that, but I feel like it could be done a bit better. I feel like it's not so much a character assassination, but like I feel like it pulls the character down a bit.
Well then, Stuart, while we have you here, what's your thoughts? Best, worst, most underrated?
Let me just get the old list here.
Oh shit.
Just get the list out. No, I've actually just pulled up the list now, and Infinity War is my favourite. I think like it is just that good. Like, I don't think we'll see even Endgame couldn't top it. Endgame's a great like event, but like Infinity War is my favourite MCU film. My least favourite is actually quite surprising. I thought it was Thor: The Dark World, but Thor: The Dark World is actually second last. My least favourite.
I know what your least favourite is. I'm about to be upset.
Is the Incredible Hulk. Now, the Incredible Hulk, right now, see Thor: The Dark World. I don't like that movie. That's not a good movie at all. But it at least has Loki in it. It's got Loki in it. It's got a couple of good action scenes. It's got enough to the Incredible Hulk, man. That's just a boring movie. I think that's the worst crime a movie can be, is boring. You can have films that are bad, but you can still get some enjoyment out of them. Like Space Jam, terrible movie, can still enjoy it.
Fuck you.
But like, the Incredible Hulk's just it's so bad. Like, I did the rewatch for Infinity War because it was that week-to-week thing. I think a lot of us did, and I hadn't seen it in a while, and I actually forgot that it even exists. And it was just such a slog. Like, I can look past the bad effects because of obviously the time and the budget. Like, this was before the MCU got big, but there's just nothing going on in this film. It's so boring, and like Edward Norton's not really that great in it. And Liv Tyler, I'd never liked Liv Tyler. She's got this kind of breathy, whispery voice and everything. She's got it in Armageddon. She's got it in the Incredible Hulk, and she's in something else. Like, I think she's in Lord of the Rings. That's what it is.
She's at Arwen in Lord of the Rings.
And she fucking whispers the whole way. And, just because your dad's, Aerosmith, you know what I mean? It doesn't, just because he's shouting about this doesn't mean, you can just whisper about. So, the Incredible Hulk's my least favourite. For a good, I don't know, for the litmus test in the middle, where you're sitting at Falcon, Winter Soldier, Black Panther, like they're kind of middle of the pack for me. So Doctor Strange, that's kind of like middle of the road for me. But definitely, like, my number one is Infinity War, because everyone else has said Infinity War. So my second favourite, Civil War. I like the ones with wars in the name.
I don't like Civil War.
What? But have you got one that you think's underrated?
Underrated.
Well, you want to do some business, no?
Well, I tried, but then you pied me off and you said fuck all, so I just decided to
I didn't
wait
like
for you to make a decision, because you tried and then got confused and then left it.
For some reason, so where I have red, I thought it was pink when you had pink, and I kept on going to trade, and I was like, wait, it's not pink. But I
classic.
have the two to complete your set, so we could maybe
You do.
arrange
I have a blue, and I know
some.
you'll want to control that corner.
No, I don't want the blue. I'm on the grade,
Sure,
so
sorry.
I get one of the set. And you get a complete set.
Underrated.
Underrated. I don't know. Like I've got pretty much the big, well-received ones at the top. I quite like the first Avengers. I know like it might be a bit dated. I still really like that. I still get a lot of enjoyment. Oh, actually, do you know what I think's underrated? A lot of the guys in the podcast don't like Iron Man. Specifically the first Iron Man, and I really like the first Iron Man. The
I
third
just want
act.
to jump in here. Danny said that Iron Man 2 might be one of the worst ones in the entire.
Iron Man 2 is bad.
I've
Iron
got
Man
it.
2 is the third, my least favorite, third least favorite. I've got at the bottom. I've got Iron Man. My top 5 is Infinity War,
Not gonna
Civil
lie,
War,
I'd rather keep the yellow and you give you
Spider-Man: Homecoming, Ragnarok, and Winter Soldier. And my
Sure,
least favorite
yeah.
5 are Thor, Age of Ultron, Iron Man 2, Dark World, and Incredible Hulk. So I really don't like Age of Ultron as well. I think that's pretty bad as well. But I like Iron Man. I'm just a sucker for like that's where it all started, and like I just love seeing like Robert Downey Jr. like come up with this like because not a lot actually happens in the middle of that film. It's just Robert Downey Jr. coming up with the Iron Man suit, but I love it. Like I always I just love
felt
those
like
scenes.
with the Iron Man movies, I've got all of them in the bottom. So there's 27 like things in total so far. I've got all of them like 20 or under, and I just feel like see for Iron Man 1, you've put it as your most underrated. So that's what
That's
I'm talking
12
about. The other
for
two
me.
are just
That's
pretty
about
pitch.
12.
Iron Man 1 starts off amazing. See, like this, like he gets kidnapped. He's like having to try to escape this cave. Brilliant. Second half of the film, honestly boring. Just boring. Nothing happens. And then the fight scene at the end, boring.
Fight scene's bad. All the Iron Man films have a terrible third act fight scene. It's really, they're really
And it
not
just
great at
felt
the
like-
third acts.
It just didn't live up to the first half of the film, because the first half of the film is like edge of the seat good. But yeah, so that's where it kind of fell for me. Right, Adam, what's your thoughts? Best, worst, underrated? You've not said anything in a while.
Yeah, chat noticed. They thought you died.
I was just nothing. We were just like Stewart going his monologue. Best, probably. I like Endgame. I think Endgame probably edges Infinity War for me. Fucking daddy long legs in here. Sorry.
Why Endgame or Infinity War? You're saying just what just makes it better?
Just investment. I think like for me, I just think because I'd spent so much time and it was the conclusion. I think it was just a lot more satisfying to me. Like the end, and I understand that maybe standalone, you could maybe say Infinity War is a better made film, but I just think because of how much it you've put into it for Endgame. I just think for me, I just think it's so rare to get that full payoff, So I think that was probably the difference for me. That's why I love it so much, and like I can watch it and whenever I watch Infinity War, I have to watch Endgame. Like I
I'll
can't.
tell you what.
I can't just watch it and leave it.
I watched Endgame like in the cinema, like when it came out. I having not really seen like anything like leading up to it. The only MCU movies I'd seen before were Captain America 1 and 2 and Ant-Man and the Wasp. That's the only ones I'd seen. So I watched Endgame in the cinema at the time. I was like, that was really good. I really enjoyed that. That was good. Then when I went through and watched all the films in order and watched it again, I was a lot more emotional when I was watching it. I was like, wow, this is brilliant. So I feel like if I hadn't already seen it before, I probably would have enjoyed it more the second time watching it. But I certainly, there's a huge payoff. That was a good point. Like that is a huge payoff, which kind of for me anyway. Obviously, like there's so many comics, so like the MCU could go on forever. But I just feel like what a perfect time that would have been to end it all. But they've started again for Phase 4. And before we go on to talk about that, Lewis, why don't you hit us with your... Oh wait, well, Adam actually...
Whoa,
I've not let you give you
the best one, and then we move on.
Aye. Sorry, Adam. Adam, what's the worst and what's the most underrated?
Worst, I'd probably say For the Dark World, because I literally can't remember what happens in it. I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times and I still like it's so unmemorable to me. Underrated, for me, I think like this is like I think amongst us it's not underrated, but I think amongst the outside people I've talked to, for me, Guardians of the Galaxy, that's top 5. I love the first Guardians of the Galaxy, and I just think maybe it doesn't fall quite into underrated, but I think it should be like top 5 MCU films. I think a lot of people
It's my
see it.
second favourite. I've got it as my second favourite.
You got your second favourite, so that's what I mean. Like maybe not among us, it's not underrated, but I think like with a lot of people I've met, I just think it's maybe doesn't get the appreciation it deserves. I think people see it as kind of gimmicky and like a one-off because it's so different from the other ones. But I actually think it's so good. For me, it just stands out, and like I could watch that like any time. I just love it. Like I still laugh at it so much when I see it.
Yeah, it's very it's like in comparison to all the other films I watch, it's the most like trying not to be rude, but it's like sci-fi kind of like geeky. You know, it's got like aliens and it's just a lot of people maybe that's not what they've signed up for when they watch the other ones, and that's why they don't enjoy it. But I certainly thought I thought especially the first one was great. But what's your least favourite?
I said For the Dark World.
Oh yeah, you did because it's so unmemorable.
It's so unmemorable you forgot.
Yeah, exactly. That's how shit it is. Right, Lewis, what's your thoughts? Best, worst,
worst one. Underrated. I've been trying to think about this throughout all the chat that's been going on, and I think the one that my brain lands on, and I think this is maybe mostly externally, kind of how Adam mentioned there, is actually the first Captain America film.
Oh.
Interesting.
Underrated. I'd say. I think
Underrated.
it's just the ending. Like I remember watching that the first time and thinking, man, they really want to get Steve Rogers into the ice here. Like you watch the ending and
Yeah, that entire plane scene, I'm like, why did he have to do that? He could just
couldn't the plane have like blown up or something, and he
That's
could have like
bollocks.
landed.
Do you know what's
in
bollocks?
the ice
You've
or
not
something.
put free parking on, so I ain't get any money.
I don't make the rules.
You do.
Yes, you do.
What does that guy even do?
You can't create a
Honestly.
custom game to do it, unfortunately. You can only pick one of the modes.
That
It's
sounds
either we
like
play the fast
a
mode or
lie.
we pick the free
Right.
parking mode. I'm not paying extra to do the custom stuff, you know what I mean?
But yeah,
I paid.
Captain America
Do
is
you know what?
underrated.
Actually, it's not been discussed. I had to pay $11.99 for this fucking game.
It was not our fault you shared the game with your brother, you know what I mean?
It is
That's-
your fucking fault. Yeah.
No, it sounds like your problem.
Sounds like
what
your
it sounds
problem. That's what I thought. Virgin.
This is what Monopoly does to us. I've never had a fun game of Monopoly.
No, it's shit. I don't know why I'm playing it. It's shit. Anyway. Captain America underrated, controversial because I've never heard anyone say anything bad about it.
But see, that's what I mean. Like, it's like a lot of people just kind of like brush it off and almost forget about it. But I think part of that is because the second one's so fucking good. It is
Yeah, I
probably
think he's got the best
my
trilogy.
favorite.
Oh,
He's got the strongest
I
trilogy
was
of them.
I was gonna ask as well, like later on, what everyone thought. Who's got the best? So obviously, some of them don't have trilogies, but who's got like, the best
Franchise
like
within a
series? Franchise. Lewis, what's your favourite?
Favorite is either Winter Soldier or Infinity War. Oh, how much money am I paying here? A buttload. Oh fuck.
And
Least favorite is definitely Hulk. That movie is just garbage. At least Thor:
There
The
we
Dark World
go.
has Loki in it.
See, man's not wrong.
I don't know. I quite enjoyed it. I mean, I've still got it like 25, but I still quite enjoyed it.
What was your lowest again?
Well, while it's been brought up, let's see who has the best franchise. For me,
Captain
it
America.
has to be Captain America.
The future holds for you.
I think it'd be Captain
Alright,
America. I
Captain
don't think
America.
Thor.
There's not really an argument for anybody else.
No, like I really like the first Iron Man. Iron Man 2 is not good. I don't like Iron Man 2. Iron Man 3 I like. I actually like Iron Man 3. It's not. It's probably lower middle tier for me.
What about Spider-Man?
See, Spider-Man. That's a good shout actually. Cause I do really like Homecoming. Homecoming's my third favorite. I think Spider-Man Homecoming is probably the best. Well, it's the best Spider-Man we've had ever.
Ever been
I'd
bought?
say. But yeah, there's zero free properties.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Spider-Man 2
what
was
was?
really fucking good.
I see. I need to watch them, and if obviously Doc Ock and like everyone's coming back for No Way Home, I will watch the Spider-Man, the old 2000 Sam Raimi Spider-Man franchise again. So maybe that's why I wouldn't agree, because maybe it's not up. Maybe it's not up to snuff as the old Spider-Man.
For me, it would be Thor if it wasn't for how bad the second one is, and I think the reason I've got Thor as the worst, like Thor Dark World as the worst,
that's not too bad.
is purely on the basis that I love the first one. I would maybe that I could put a case in there for fucking hell. I could put a case in there for that being the most underrated, because I really enjoyed it when you guys didn't really have a.
Oh, for goodness sake!
You guys
Andrew
would think
Garfield
so?
deserves a third film.
No, he doesn't.
No, he
Dan,
doesn't.
shut up. And
it's
Amazing
so
Spider-Man 1 is
bad.
not underrated. It's perfectly rated. Average film.
Do you know what? Do you know what I hate about the Amazing Spider-Man is they're touting it as if this like the whole like end of the world thing is like, oh, you know, he wants to turn everybody into lizards, but literally the whole film he keeps turning back into a human. So what is the urgency? Just wait half an hour and they're all turned back into humans. Why is this such a
It doesn't make much sense. They don't really literally and I mean, you know, it's not like me to bring up the Spider-Man 1998 series, but in that's like the first two episodes. It's like, oh Jesus! I'm gonna let you finish, but Andrew Garfield deserves a third film. Make it
Well, does he? Let's open the board.
So let me
first
barricade my
caller,
door. Let me put my
Stefan.
chair against my door first.
You know what? See, if they announced a third Amazing Spider-Man movie, I would not be mad. I would watch it. I think I'd be quite happy watching it. I don't think it did a bad job. I think it'd still be an enjoyable movie. I think he's a good Spider-Man, not a great Peter Parker.
Worst Peter Parker of all time, and Tobey Maguire is like a 40-year-old
He's a
guy and he's
terrible
still a better Peter
Spider-Man.
Parker.
The whole point of him to become
I've
Spider-Man.
offered you here.
Oh shit! Oh, that's me.
Being all nice.
Yeah, okay, I'll take it. I don't even know what I'm accepted to.
I could have put 1,000 on there.
Like the whole point of him becoming Spider-Man is literally to find the guy that killed Uncle Ben, and he's like beating up criminals like really bad, and he's actually talking about killing something. Like he's gonna kill the guy. It's not great. I remember went to see that Amazing Spider-Man 2 in the cinema, and I was actually, me and my pal were watching it, and halfway through the film, like somebody's phone, they kept lighting their phone up and it was so bright, and I was like, oh, this is ruining that movie. Turns out they were right. The film was not worth watching. Like it was so bad, and I remember absolutely, I had to leave because I was laughing so much. See the bit where Harry Osborn wants Spider-Man's blood because he's died of goblin disease, and then Spider-Man shows up, says no, and leaves, and literally Harry starts wrecking his room, saying, "Oh, you're a fraud, Spider-Man!" I couldn't stop laughing. I had to leave. I couldn't stop laughing. It's so fucking funny because he just throws a table and Spider-Man's just he's like 6 feet away. He's hanging on the wall listening to them. I can't believe Spider-Man showed up to say no. I'm not giving you my blood, and then leaves. Why did he do that? The guy is dying. And like, why wouldn't he give his blood? Like, he shows up and he's like, "Oh, see you later." He just leaves, and then the guy's absolutely wrecking his room. Oh my god, it's so funny. See now that at least it makes it better than Incredible Hulk, because that was, I don't know how many years ago that came out, but I could still laugh about that film. I was actually crying with laughter. Incredible Hulk is just fucking boring, mate.
Right?
I'm
Yeah.
sweating.
Not sure
man.
how you brought that back to Incredible Hulk, but interesting.
Let's get on with the MCU.
And I've got one last
Unbold.
point to make about the MCU, and this is my controversial opinion. So I've watched them all now, and I can honestly say
Let's roll the dice.
they're just good. They're not great. They're just and this is a problem I have. I don't think it's necessarily a reflection of MCU films as much as it is a reflection of just action films in general. They all follow the same plot, you know. They have a fight, they lose the fight, they regroup, they have the same fight. Something that happened during that first fight happens again, but when it didn't work in the first time, it's not worked the second time. They win the fight, game over, everyone's happy, happy families. I just don't. That's why Infinity War for me was like the best one, because it didn't happen. Like, they lost twice, and I was like, whoa. Look at that. Never seen this. This is a whole new plot to every other film that I've just watched. This is great.
The third
so,
act's actually the second act.
Interesting.
What?
Alright, Mike Brewer.
But I
Stefan
do
says there
enjoy.
should be a mutiny against you because MCU saved comic book films.
I never watched them beforehand, so it doesn't matter.
I don't know. I mean, The Dark Knight was you know, I think The Dark Knight kind of brought comic book movies like back into, because The Dark
I mean,
Knight.
Spider-Man
is,
did pretty well with itself before.
The X-Men. Let's not forget,
You know,
the X-Men
and
films were really good.
The
apart
X-Men
from-
was doing well.
Apart from half of them.
There was a Daredevil film.
No,
for
that
some
oh
reason.
god, that was terrible.
Ben Affleck.
That was so bad.
What's your
Adam, hold your hand.
Regardless,
Hold your hand.
regardless,
Come on.
guys.
I
think-
See,
I
I,
think the
really want
strong
the car,
point-
mate, but
I
can
just
only
met
go
you in the middle.
550.
I just met you in the middle.
Guys,
that's all I can do, mate. That's all I
regardless,
can do.
want to trade?
I think the strong point of the MCU
Hold out
is
your
the
hand.
fact
Oh.
is the fact it's all one big universe. So now I feel like I have to watch every movie that comes out, because I'm like, well, I've watched 27 so far. There's no point in
They've
giving up
managed to
now.
turn movies into TV series.
Yeah, it's a sunk cost
Exactly.
fallacy.
And I think
Like
I
how I
think it's
felt with The
brilliant.
Walking Dead.
So I've come up with this great idea. I'm going to pitch it to like Sony or someone. I don't know. A gangster
Oh, no, sorry.
heist. You lot, if you interrupt
What's
me
just
one more
got
time, I'll
five?
pitch you.
I just drew
Goodness
that.
sake.
What's your big idea, Rhys? I'm titillated now.
This is my big pitch. Right, so we have a gangster heist cinematic universe, and they're all in different states, and you can have international ones as well, but they're obviously it'll be harder to
bullshit.
implement them. But you have like all these different gangs in different states, and then it ends with like a big gang war, like kind of like Infinity War, Endgame, like these big gang wars at the end of it.
Big
All
gang war.
going.
What are you on about?
I'm talking about the guys.
Does Joe Biden come in like the DEA and snaps his fingers, instead of half of them turn to dust, they all go to jail? That's the worst film idea I've ever seen. Where's the law in that?
I'm not saying it's a carbon copy of Endgame or Infinity War. I'm saying, at the end of the phases, you can have like a big gang war between all these different gangs. It'd be great.
That's fucking awful.
So I'm
So
taking this pitch and I'm taking it straight to Sony, and they're gonna
Sony
buy it
will buy
off me
it.
for billions. So what do you think?
I want to hear more about it, Rhys. I want to hear more about it.
Right,
It's
so,
just, it sounds
right.
like Sons of Anarchy without the bikes.
Yeah,
well,
Sons of
I've
Anarchy,
never
but
seen
shit.
Sons of Anarchy, so get up. That sounds
like
like
West
Sons
Side
of
Story,
Anarchy.
but
It's still
more
my
gay.
idea. Here it is, Stuart. I'll pitch it to you one last time. Right. So there's
Please
a gang,
do.
right? We'll call them the Montana family, right?
Oh,
Not based off Tony Montana.
what a coincidence that would be.
They're based in, let's say, Pennsylvania. Right? And they're like big, like a big gang, big family gang, they deal coke and whatnot. Again,
I
they're
don't
all
say The
based off Tony
Sopranos.
Montana. So they're going about killing everyone, and they have their own movie. Meanwhile, or maybe a year later, who knows? In
I'm fucking
Ohio.
over 7.
there's another gang called the Capulets, and
Oh, fuck off.
they're fighting it out, and they also deal cocaine. You know, it's just a tricky thing. Oh, right, Lewis, I'll give you money. You need it the most.
Yeah, I'm the cheapest one of all
Yeah.
that.
So the Capulets, they're all killing these, pew pew pew, killing the cops and that, right? So the cops are fighting against them, but then they pay off the cops. Whoa, who sees that coming? And then they kill a guy from the Pettigrew family, not based on Peter Pettigrew. And then, in the next movie, the Pettigrew family, who are based in Washington DC, they're like, whoa, one of
This
our
is
own,
worse than Adam's pitch.
one of our
This is-
own's been killed. So then they're like going around and they're fighting all these people, and you know they kidnap a guy. Turns out that guy was from the Montana family, not the Capulet family. Whoa, look at that! It's all come together. So then we have a end of the season or end of the phase like fight, and they all fight it out. And then who wins? Well, the Montague family from Idaho. They come in and they win, and then boom, we've got 4 different families in the same universe. But it's it's all across America.
Give me a
So
dollar.
it's $1 billion idea.
Stuart, what are you doing here?
Go on up. You gotta add my money over.
There's some
Nothing's,
tomfoolery going on.
nothing's happening here. Good man.
This
Get your
is
hand.
bullshit.
Adam
But
said
that
loads
Monopoly's
message
already going
Stuart
on for
off.
long enough. You know what I mean?
Alright, Jack promised you
you're
this would be
extending
2
it.
hours.
What is this?
We'd silently watching Stuart give away money.
Embezzlement.
Guys, let's get back to narrate this game. This is the worst Monopoly Twitch channel I've ever seen. Yeah, I don't think we'll ever do Monopoly again. This was an awful idea.
I said this at the time. Right, Lewis, now you have to transfer that money to me, I think, was the plan.
Right.
So those guys can put some hotels down now.
What do you mean, those guys?
We wanted the game to be over! Oh, for goodness
Right.
sake, Stuart.
Jack, just declare bankruptcy, mate.
Yeah, then it'll be over. We'll
No,
do
well, I've
it.
just had my turn, so you should just all declare bankruptcy right now.
They can
No,
still
you can
do
still
it.
do it.
They can still do it. They can still do it.
No, I can't. I say it's done.
Right.
Uh,
So, guys, what do you think of my pitch for a different cinematic universe?
Fucking horrible,
I completely
mate.
stopped.
Oh, shit.
Absolutely terrible. One
I
of
would
the
not
worst
bet
things
you.
I've ever heard in my
Right.
life.
I feel like
I
there was
don't-
something to it, but...
Do you know
When
what?
we do the big picture awards at the end of the year.
Fresh rapper. I think
You
maybe
didn't give us
something.
the
Yeah, you
crossover.
got it.
You didn't tell us why the crossover happens.
I did!
That's the-
You just were too
that's-
busy embezzling! Because
All
they
I got was
kidnapped a guy, the Montague family kidnapped someone from the Montana family instead of the Pettigrew family, so they all crossed over and had a big fight.
I feel like it's not a hard. I feel like if you like this crime family apparently capable of nationwide
If you
like
land on one
heist,
person's property, you're fucked.
Yeah.
can't get
That's how I like to
can't
do
get
it.
fucking.
No, they're only statewide. Yeah. Regardless, the point is, oh for fuck's
Ooh.
sake, the point isn't.
2, 3, or 1?
I think I'll take
Three.
1.
3.
The point isn't, strictly that plot, but the point is you could have there's scope for different cinematic universes, and I think that more
And
people
you
should be
somehow
going into
pitched
that.
the worst one.
You pitched a non-existent one.
I'm just saying that other people should be buying into it, right? Yeah, enjoy it. I'm just gonna move on, right? Fuck you guys. Right. Okay. Next. Oh gosh, I've done something weird. Right. Okay, guys. Moving away from the MCU because clearly you guys just are too annoying for me. If you were to have a movie about your life, right? obviously, you know, you could do it at this point in life, you could do it in the future of life when you're successful. Regardless, of all the actors that are alive right now, who would you like to play you?
Phil Mitchell.
Okay, Phil Mitchell, great start. Not an actor, is a character, but it's a good start.
It's Phil Mitchell on EastEnders. Has amnesia, thinks he's Lewis.
I would have had Phil Mitchell playing Steve Clark. He's already got the alcoholism down.
Oh.
Will Smith to play Jack. Well, he is white enough.
Fucking hell, we're getting tired. The controversial jokes are coming out.
I was actually going to say Paul Rudd. I'd want Paul Rudd to do me.
You'd like Paul Rudd to do
you?
Sure.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
CB, I'm declaring bankruptcy.
I'm
CB,
sure-
shit.
I'm sure I can get some sort of settlement out of Paul Rudd. Yep. That's, yeah.
That
Settlement.
brings me on to the point that I was just about to
Wait,
make, Jack.
what? That just goes to that?
I don't think you're
Sounds like it.
funny enough for. Oh my gosh!
Oh.
I just get all these properties.
I think it just gave it to you. I don't know why. I just play bankruptcy.
Because it was Rhys's property that bankrupted you.
Oh, is that how it works?
Oh, right, nice.
There you go. That was it.
Rhys is suddenly enjoying it.
I'm in the game.
It's like, wow, I can make money by bankrupting the poor. I'm totally in.
Yeah, capital. Wait, how do you buy things? Okay. Oh, this one's already got houses. Can't add houses. Oh, that's why. Right, okay.
So we
okay.
going off look how much an actor looks like as our
No,
kind
no,
of
no. You can
performance
just
to
do
pull
whatever you
off.
want.
Brad Pitt.
I'd have
Stefan.
Yeah, nah, that's
Stefan.
Keir Gilchrist for the younger years. He's good at playing autistic people on screen. That's not controversial. He literally, that is not like. There's no need to inhale at that. Nothing about that
The
is
viewer
controversial.
count is dropping.
Right, moving on.
Adam.
Stuart, who would you have?
Right, okay. Who am I? Is this for the biopic?
Yeah. Why not?
Danny DeVito.
Oh,
Because he's
that's
short,
a great choice.
he's bald, he's got a massive penis. Alright, there you go.
I got a magnum cunt, a magnum dong.
It's the trifecta. And I've got a degree in psychology, so, you know, Mantis toboggan.
Mantis toboggan. Right, great choice. Lewis said Brad Pitt. You know, that fits well. You know, they look the same.
You know, I would actually legitimately pick him because I was really impressed by him in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Rhys, who would you have play you?
Who also played
That's
a man from
bullshit.
Shetland.
Kurt Russell
Kurt Russell.
or Joaquin Phoenix. Because Joaquin Phoenix is controversial enough. Right, Jack, you ready for me to declare bankruptcy on you? Son,
No, you've avoided
that's
it.
skip
the
him.
wrong number.
That's not good. No.
Yeah, I don't know.
I declare
Kurt
bankruptcy.
Russell or Joaquin Phoenix, or maybe you know, I feel like Tom Hanks could do a good Forrest Gump impression of me. So life's good.
Billy Connolly
Well,
has played his character in The Man Who Sued God because he can never admit when he's wrong.
Is he doing you in this film?
No, I think both of us.
Oh, right, okay. Right. Anyway, right, Adam, what's your favourite ever movie all time?
Django Unchained.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with
Sure
you.
about that.
Hey chat, put in the chat your favourite movie of all time.
Yes,
Go.
do that.
I'm
Django
poggers after it.
Unchained.
Yeah, I'd say it's probably the film I
And
could
tell
watch,
Adam why he's
watch
wrong.
timelessly. Why
Did
I'm
you-
wrong? Why it's my favourite film?
Did we not
I
just
can't be
do?
wrong.
Were you in the
If this
best
is
Leonardo
right.
DiCaprio movie
I was hosting.
you were hosting? Oh, because I was going to say Django Unchained did not come up
No, I would have
I-
missed that if I wasn't
as
hosting.
one of the pictures.
Adam's favourite is Bionicle.
Bionicle, right? I'm like this is gonna sound controversial. Bionicle, great films, great toys as well. Anyone who built
That
Bionicle knows
really
this.
sounds up your street, Adam, to be fair.
think
So what did Jared
Griffin's
just
being
say?
honest here and saying
I think it's really
Seems
up.
up
It
Adam
sounds
Street.
like it's really up Adam Street.
Lewis, favorite film.
The future holds for
either the Dark Knight Returns or Return of the King.
you.
The animated Dark Knight
Choices.
Returns.
For your money.
No, the Joker. Dark Knight Rises, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
Just wait. Just Dark Knight then. If Joker's in it, just Dark Knight.
Roll the dice.
Sorry, it's late. Yeah, that one. The one with Joker in it, you fucking...
Dark Knight. Good choice. One of the best, if not the best, comic book movie of all time. Stuart, you've just lost a shit ton of money, so why don't you cheer yourself up by talking about your favourite movie?
The Thing. 1982.
What
Kurt
Thing?
Russell. The Thing.
Great choice.
What a guy.
John Carpenter's The Thing. Love it.
Ooh,
Fantastic. Stuart put me onto it. Great film.
I've
One of
not
the best
seen
films
it.
I've ever seen.
I
Many
do love
Escapes,
Kurt Russell.
Rhys. Oh, Rhys, you
Oh,
love
that's a
it.
great film.
Do you love
It is a great
practical
film.
horror effects? Of course you do. Great film.
There we go.
It's not even like,
Um,
it's a horror film, but it's not scary. Like it's just like that the horror is like kind of part of it, but like it's also like a psychological kind of horror because it's about an alien that like it's an art based that like dig up an alien that can shapeshift. Like so it's all this kind of like mistrust of like who is the alien and everything like that. So like half the film is like trying to figure out who the alien is, and then the other half is just like amazing.
it Kurt Russell?
Amazing. Kurt Russell is in it.
Is he the
Don't know.
alien?
It could be Kurt Russell.
You have to watch it.
You have to watch
Nah,
and find
I
out.
feel like it's Kurt Russell.
You try
The
to
alien
watch
can
it
be more
and
than
decide
one
for
person.
yourself.
Like it kind of splits off. Like
So
so
does it
it's
tell
more-
you in the movie? Or do you just
Well,
have
what do
to
you mean?
actually
Like-
guess? Well, you just said I have to watch it and decide for myself.
You'd have to see it. Once you see it, you'd have to
Mhm.
understand.
Mhm.
Right, okay,
You-
okay.
you
That
just, like, I
sounds-
could-
There's still
go on and
theories
give
to this
anything
day
away.
about
Yeah.
like
Ooh,
who.
excited.
Already owned.
Yeah.
That does sound quite good.
Time to pay the rent.
But I love it.
Bankrupt.
It's absolutely my favourite.
Yes. Jack. Favorite movie?
I think my favourite film was Back to the Future.
What a good choice.
Great choice.
What's your thoughts on the trilogy?
I prefer the third film to the second film, and I get quite a bit of stick for that. I cannot
I wonder
go the
why.
second film at
Yeah.
all. So I'd go 1, 3, 2 if I was rating the trilogy. I think it's
I-
one of my
I
favourite
don't think
trilogies to
that's-
watch.
Controversial, Jack. I think that's a
Wrong.
good opinion.
Rhys agrees with you. That is rough, mate.
So it's a
A
right
real
opinion.
death
then.
deal. Sorry, carry on.
Shut up, virgin.
But no, Back to the Future, favourite film all time.
Great choice. My favourite film of all time is The Green Mile.
I don't know why, but I thought you were going to say the Green Lantern.
It's not
That
The
would
Green
be a
Lantern.
classic.
It's a close
That's
second.
that's second, yeah.
Of all films with the word green in it, it goes Green Mile, Green Street, Green Lantern. I can't think of any others.
The Green Book.
Green Hornet.
Maybe. Right. Well.
I don't know Green Hornet, actually.
Oh gosh, here we go. Roll low, roll low. Roll high?
Oh, come on.
This could be alright. This could
Here's
be
a
alright.
question for anybody. Is there any movies that still yet to come out for us at 2021 sorry, that you're excited about?
Hey, that's in the list of questions to come. But while you've said it, great
Still a
question.
Christmas present.
June.
Oh,
as
I'm
in
so looking forward to
Dune.
that.
June.
Dune.
Dune
June.
or June?
Dune.
Which one
Dunny.
do you say it?
June.
I say June.
That's
I
what I
say
most look forward to.
I say
definitely.
June now. Yeah, that's
June.
that's the
June.
one for me.
Dune like Sand Dune.
That I'm very excited for that. With obviously for one reason and one reason only being Zendaya because what a queen. And you know, Dave Batista, he's in it. So that's always exciting.
Key to success.
But yeah, I think out of all the films that are coming out in 2021 that I know about anyway, That's what I'm
Is
most excited about.
What about No
still
Time to
scheduled
Die?
out
That's
this
coming
year?
out at the end of this month.
I don't really care for the Bond films. I think I made that perfectly clear during the Bond episode.
I think I would say outside the Marvel films, I'm really looking forward to Spider-Man: No Way Home and the Eternals and Shang-Chi. But outside of that, it's the new James Bond film, No Time to Die.
Yeah, Shang-Chi comes out tomorrow.
I'm going to
Say
see it
what
tomorrow
does.
night, so
Is it coming out
Um,
tomorrow? Oh my
I
God.
actually looked up, like, I wanted to see, like, what was coming out, like, this year, just to kind of before I checked it. There's a lot of good films coming out. The Many Saints of Newark, which is like a prequel to The Sopranos. There's a Resident Evil
Oh
film
yeah,
coming out.
that's good.
Edgar Wright's got Last Night in Soho,
Soho,
which
the-
looks amazing.
The trailer looks very scary. Probably too scary
The
for me.
Last Duel. I don't know why this movie came up, but it's got Adam Driver and Matt Damon in it, and it just looks good. And West Side Story by Steven Spielberg is he's taking a shot at that. So there's a bunch of them coming out. But yeah, Shang-Chi comes out tomorrow.
There's a Resident Evil one coming out. I just seen that
Yeah,
there.
they're
on the list
doing the
ahead of
first
me.
game.
Is it if it's alright? Is it set in the mansion?
Mhm.
Oh, nice.
does it have Aubrey? For some reason, I want to say it has Aubrey Plaza in it.
I don't know. She might be playing what's her name? Actually, for the female character, you can.
Jill Valentine. According to
Yeah.
this, it's Hannah Joan Cameron.
Oh, she's
that
quite
is.
good. She was good in there was a Netflix show with her in it, and she plays
I
this
think
kind of like stalker, kind of like.
It looks like it might
Would
be
you
the
call
first two combined because they're kind of
To us, it would be kind of difficult to make that
the
one
bottle
game into a
bottle
full
episode.
movie.
Yeah, because the Resident Evil 2 is like is great. That's what I was saying. It comes into Raccoon City and you've got Leo Kennedy as just a cop dealing with it.
It's got Robbie Amell in it.
Excellent.
Yeah, I know. Listen, I don't really like the Resident Evil films, to be honest. So I've been
No, all
I'd
like the
some done
original
well.
ones are kind of naff. They go a bit Walking Dead like, where it's just like, we need to get over there, but there's zombies in the way. Oh no, what shall we do?
What's the difference between a chickpea and a lentil? Says Steph. What is the difference between a chickpea and a lentil?
You can't watch a lentil pea.
Nice.
I like that.
I've just kind of been ignoring stuff in this chat because it gets a bit. I can ban him. I could ban Stefan.
That was a good
don't
joke.
do it.
I
We've
like
only
that
got
joke.
like 4 views.
We had 7 at one point,
Oh,
Peak.
but as I was
I'll take that.
messaged,
I'll take that.
Monopoly's not fun to watch.
no, because it's not fun to play either. Well, they've got the fucking good side of it.
It's your turn.
Oh man, right. I've
Yeah, Rhys, I
Jack-
recommend you look up Last Night in Soho before you go to sleep tonight.
oh gosh. Right, 2, 5. Well, I'll take 7. Right. Okay. Well, in turn. Right, Adam. This is a question I think you'll enjoy the most out of everyone here. Favorite book?
Favorite book. It's kind of a funny story by Ned Bussini.
I think I'm say it's kind of a funny story. What my favourite book is.
Everyone, yep, that's what who did that. I think you were gonna say it was a funny story. And I'm like, that's the name. It's the name of the book.
Alright, right, very good.
That
Very
wasn't an
good.
impression of you.
Cheers.
Don't worry. That was
Thank
an
you.
impression of
It
Thanks,
was
the
Adam.
general
Thanks.
public.
Next 2 hours. Next.
What's that about?
It's about a guy.
Well, it's a funny story, right?
So it's based on a true story. For that actually happened to the author. Basically, when he was younger. He was 13, and basically he studied really hard to get into the best school in New York,
I'm
just
not
because that was all he ever
Stefan
cared
for
about.
obvious reasons.
And then he's
This player.
and then basically once he was there, he just couldn't deal with the stress in his life, so he ended up quite depressed. And then one night he realized he wanted to kill himself. So rather than doing it, he called the suicide hotline, and they told him he could check himself into the hospital. But at the time, the teenage wing was undergoing repairs, so he was in with the adults, and he spent 5 days, which is the minimum you can spend when you check yourself in the mental ward. And he came out, and ever since, and basically changed his life. But it's honestly, the film's quite good as well with Zach Galifianakis and Keir Gilchrist. But the book is just amazing. Had such an impact in my life, and just an incredible book. Really funny, heartwarming, just makes you think as well. So I highly recommend anyone listening. to read it. And if you can't read, listen to the audiobook. If you don't listen to audiobooks, watch the film because the film's still quite funny.
What impact did it have in your life?
It changed the way I think about stress and my problems.
Good, excellent.
Good. Jack, what's your favourite book?
Stephen King, Misery.
Cracker book.
I think I did
Fantastic
know
book.
that.
The future holds for you.
Yeah. Anything by Stephen King is great, but yeah, this is a fantastic book. Have you seen the film?
Your time.
Yeah, I've seen the film, and I'd much prefer to read the book than the film all day, every day.
Yeah, I mean, I watched the film and I didn't think it was fantastic. So, yeah, you're probably right. The book is probably better, almost definitely better. I think you would struggle to find anyone that believed otherwise. Stuart, you got a favourite book?
Time to pay the rent.
Yeah, I think it's probably. I'd probably say Hyperion by Dan Simmons. Really enjoy that book. It's I'm just kidding. It's Ready Player One. It's absolutely not my favourite.
The
book.
most italicized book in history.
Ready Player One is the worst book I've ever read in my life. It is so bad, horrendously so. Never, ever have I read a book as bad as Ready Player One. But I'd probably say Hyperion by Dan Simmons. It's I don't even know how to describe it. It's pretty much like this kind of like group of characters are on this kind of like pilgrimage kind of thing, and they kind of tell their stories.
Rhys,
Look at my options.
use your options.
Look at those options.
Don't get
I appreciate that.
persistence is the key to success.
I totally could have got out with that as well. I just
Didn't
completely.
even play
I
a proper
respect
reason
it.
to,
I
so.
respect it. I respect it.
I was wanting to bankrupt on Stuart. Oh well.
Well, that's the way the career crumbles, unfortunately.
Well, like Adam said, you're a sad sack. So yeah, Stuart. I'm sorry, Stuart. If you land on one of my ones here, I'll be fucking livid. By the way.
I don't even know 10 was 10. It's one of Jack's.
No, that would have been mine.
It's from Jack's.
Yeah, sounds like thank fuck. Sounds like a great book. Sure.
That is a very
Lewis,
good book.
are you much of a reader? I haven't really ever heard you talk about books. You got a favourite one?
Yeah, I will not discuss the escapades it took me to figure out how to use Audible and the process I went through to pick a book, but actually I have read some books, most of them are non-fiction. One of them was called Free Will by Sam something, I can't remember the last name on the top of my head right now, and it actually maybe question some of the things that we understand about our freedom of choice.
Well, that's a great segue into what my favourite book is. George Orwell's 1984.
Good book.
Probably.
Ready Player One.
Nope. Nope. Probably, one of the most famous books of all time, but probably not not controversial in being my favourite, because I think almost everyone that likes reading books has read it. But I just think it's a fantastic satirical analysis of the world, and I think everyone should. I think they should teach George Orwell in high school in 1984. That's a good
Oh, see
reference.
when me and Stuart were at college, our criminology or sociology teacher at the time, I can't remember, made us watch 1984, so to do with there's a prison. It was roughly the same time. What was the prison called, Stuart, that we went to? The Panopticon.
The Panopticon, yeah, the Panopticon. It was ironic he made us watch it because he didn't own a TV, and he
Aye.
kept telling us about how he didn't own a TV and how nobody should own a TV, and yet
Just so he could watch it.
didn't recommend the book form of the of 1984.
I wonder if you knew it was a book.
Who knows?
Who knows, indeed.
Surely.
What's the like most overrated book or book series you guys think? I'm gonna throw it out there.
Harry Potter.
I was going to say Harry Potter. I don't think it's overrated, but I think
Twilight.
too many
Twilight.
stick to Harry Potter. Like they don't venture. I know people that just read Harry Potter, the Harry Potter series every year, like over and over again. And I'm like, oh, you should read this, and they're like, no, I'll just stick to Harry Potter, thanks. And I'm like, why?
I can get by that because I'm only just like this year getting into like audiobooks, and I've gone Animal Farm, George Orwell, 1984, George Orwell, and now I've listened to Philosopher's Stone, Chamber of Secrets, Prisoner of Azkaban, and now I'm on Goblet of Fire, and I've seen the movies plenty of times. Like, but everyone always tells me that the books are good. But when I was deciding what to listen to next, I was like, I want something safe that I know I'm going to enjoy, so I went for Harry
50
Potter.
Shades of Grey, Jesus
Yeah.
Christ.
So that I can understand that opinion. You know, maybe it is like just the safe option, and that's why people listen to it so much. But I definitely don't think they're underrated. But I will say so far, Goblet of Fire, I'm 6.5 at almost 7 hours into the book, and they've not even put their names into the Goblet of Fire yet. What a fucking waste of 7 hours the start of this fucking book has been. I cannot believe
Mate,
how long.
I don't understand.
14 chapters! And they're not even putting
class.
their names
The
into the Goblet
Quidditch
of
World
Fire.
Cup is class. I'm sorry. The biggest complaint, and Jack will back me up here, biggest complaint any Harry Potter fan of the books has about Goblet of Fire film is that there's no
J.K. Rowling.
Quidditch World Cup.
Yeah,
No,
but that's
sure.
Oh, does it?
I
does
just
it not
wanna go to bed.
Does it not flash to white? Is there not like somebody like puts that they like announce it and then it's and literally like fade to white and that's it over in the film?
In the film, they're like they come in the
Yeah.
picture. You're like, oh, we're gonna get to see some high level Quidditch. I'm on to see how this translates, and then boom, no, that's the end of the
Yeah,
film.
but-
And they're selling.
sorry.
Sorry, the end of the film.
Yeah. The Quidditch,
5 minutes.
the Quidditch World Cup final is great, like in the book, like it's entertaining. And yeah, fair enough, they've scrapped that from the movie, and they probably shouldn't have because it is really good. But that doesn't mean that I need to spend another. That only took 20 minutes, 30 minutes maybe. 6.5. There's still another 6 hours unaccounted for. Nothing has happened. Waste of my time. But Jack, a worthy winner. The biggest venture capitalist in the group, so unsurprisingly wins at Monopoly. if we ever do game and video again, I strongly am putting forward the opinion that we never play this. First of all, I'm uninstalling. The worst £12 I've ever spent in my life. Disgrace. I'm uninstalling. But if we do play a game again, you know, chat. You can let us know what you want us to see, what you want us to see play.
There is a suggestions box in chat. If you don't want to put it in there straight away, you can fire it in there. I've installed the widget, so there's no reason why you guys can't tell us what you want us to actually play.
Anyone
Just
watching
please don't fucking say it.
on YouTube or whatever, they can also let us know. You can tweet us or whatever.
Yeah, leave a comment.
@_ the big picture. Just message one of the boys privately if you're close to them. But you know, no big picture champion this week. Who won the vote?
Me,
Last weekend.
Inception. Jack
The
did.
Inception, and you won the. Oh no, wait, Stuart won the actual episode.
Yeah,
Did
sure.
it? Oh,
I
yeah,
did-
so I did.
I went back and I watched The Departed like after because Stuart's pitch was so good. You know, I think Stuart had the better pitch, but I think Inception's a better movie. I'll put it out there.
I went and
think,
read Harry Potter, Rhys, alright.
I think Donnie Brasco is better than Departed. So you know, regardless, what we do next?
The
Office.
UK versus US Office.
Oh, for fuck's sake! Right, well, we'll see you there for that. Okay, right. Sign us off.